this thing on? Yes, it is. We are
Yep.
in the building, and like that great movie, Gone with the Wind, that line that goes,
It must be Tuesday.
must be Tuesday. So we
Must be
got that out the
Tuesday.
way. Basky's in the building, Lefty's in the building, Down in Sports Suckers in the building, and we're gonna talk some Down in Sports tonight. We're gonna go in a little bit. We was just talking about the BET Awards, affectionately known as the EBT Awards. And Clarissa Shields' name came up in the conversation, but that's for behind the scenes content. Um, what are we doing with Keyshawn Davis? What are we doing with Keyshawn Davis?
It's disappointing, you know.
If, go ahead, Kim. Go ahead, because I know you got some
I,
things you want to say about
I'm
this.
just
Go ahead.
saying, it just disappointing. Like it, I saw so much like upside with this guy. I'm like, oh, all right, you know, he was entertaining, you know, in the ring. I'm like, I like, you know, I like to see him, but it's it's boxing. You know how this boxing thing is. It's always something. It's never we're never talking about, you know, we don't talk about other stuff with boxing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like we say, it's always the other stuff, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's it's draining now. It's like it kind of like it's turned into boxing, and boxing's turned into a dead sport. I mean, it's just I don't know, man. How you feel about it?
Well,
It's just I don't
well, let me say what Yada Bear is not going to say, right? This is a perfect example of coming from an older perspective of how to throw your career away. Keyshawn Davis wasn't percolating like that. I'm gonna just
know.
keep it green. You were just getting over the hump of being local.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real, Browski. This is what we do over here.
No,
You know what I
it's
mean?
true. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you were just getting over the cusp of being a local, yo.
Yeah,
You got,
he was making his way to the main stage. He was getting up
yeah,
there.
yeah, Yada. You know what I mean? So again, I'm gonna say the stuff that y'all gonna end up sending emails to Yada Bear about. He's, Keyshawn Davis, just on the cusp of being that guy getting his fights on ESPN and getting a little notoriety, a little buzz, right?
Yeah,
Got fights in his hometown and creating,
yeah,
creating the fan buzz amongst the local people and things of that nature. And now you put your brothers on, right? You got your brothers on the cards and things of that nature. Your brother has a fight where he doesn't do too well.
mm,
Didn't get knocked out, but he lost. What was it? A unanimous decision, Bowski? I think it
yeah.
was a UD, right? Okay.
Yes, it was.
So in the locker room, behind the scenes, this dude decides to to avenge his brother's loss, so to speak, and they jumped the guy,
So,
headbutts, all
so
types of
disappointing.
nonsense.
Yeah.
And me, I'm the bad cop. Browski's the good cop, right? I'm gonna tell you straight up. I don't want to see you again. I don't want to hear from you again. You have nothing to do with the sport of boxing. What happens is when you do type of stuff like this, the word spreads like wild, like the wildfires that was burning in Cali and Canada and all that.
Yeah.
It spreads, and you didn't even get a chance to really start your career yet. You was just getting ready to be on that upswing, Browski, like you said, that incline.
Yeah.
You was just getting ready to ascend, and this happens. So you took, well, how many steps backwards, Browski? 5, 6, 7? Would you say?
Man, I mean,
A lot, right?
he back at square one.
There you go, Kim. There you go. I didn't want to be all the way the bad guy and say it,
Nah,
but
he back
basically
at
you back to
square
square
one.
one, Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
That's really because you're not like um, Caleb Plant smacking the hell out of one of the Charlo brothers, but then he
Yeah.
got his comeuppance too.
He did.
Caleb Plant got beat up.
Sure did.
So, like, when we talk about this boxing thing, either you're going to be about the fight and about the boxing. It's cool to be about your business and about the histrionics and the excitement about it. But that, is uncalled for.
Yeah,
And
they
I,
that was like this.
and then I heard what
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kimmy. Go ahead. Go
And then
ahead.
I would say that they tried to bring that street, ish to backstage. Like don't be salt. Like take your L. Everybody loses. Just because you lost don't mean it's over. Like everybody takes a loss. It's how you come back, and that way was trash. You know, um, if I was going, I'll press charges. And people may look at that as a punk move, but that was a punk move. Like you lost in the ring, we're backstage, and then y'all jump me.
Right.
So like, if I would press charges and sit and let him sit down because obviously he lost his mind. He forgot where he was at, and he letting others who's not in the position that he's in ruin his life because like I said he's at square one. I wouldn't want to fight him at all. Nobody's gonna want to. You're not getting another fight, and if you do get a fight, it's gonna be somewhere on somebody's undercard that nobody knows.
Right.
And it's a shame because of his talent. And like I said at the beginning, he was in the incline. His stock was rising. He was like I said, he was fighting local. You didn't really see him like that, and then you start seeing clips of him online first.
Hmm.
You start seeing some of him, some of his rounds online.
Remember,
And
he was calling out Tank. Remember,
yeah, and yeah,
after
then you
winning his
start
fights.
talking,
Hmm.
and it was like, all right, like let's see who this kid is, and then next thing
Hmm.
he on ESPN. I'm like, okay, you know, I said, oh, this kid, he may have something going on,
Hmm.
and then you do this. I'm like disappointing,
Yeah, kid. Well,
This
yeah,
that
yeah.
was a straight YN move. It was a straight YN move because it's like you gotta grow up. This is a
Floyd
professional
Mayweather
sport.
wouldn't have did that.
Absolutely not. No,
So,
nope.
and I
It
bring
wouldn't
that
do
up for a
that.
reason. I think you know where I'm going.
Go.
All these youngsters want to aspire to
Oh,
be,
I'm gonna be floored.
take that path, that Floyd Mayweather Jr. path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for all the what we gonna call it, Browski, histrionics, and
Yeah.
talking junk, Mayweather pre-fight, blah blah blah, this and that and the third. It never went to that level. You know what I mean? Where what if not here Albright would have got hurt?
Yeah.
Then what? This is the point where I'm coming from, Kimmy. Like again, these it's about to take me somewhere else, but I'm not gonna do that. We gonna keep it on sports. These cats getting their emotions. They feel like I started off the show by saying Keyshawn Davis, a local kid that made good. It was really on the uptick, right? So now you feel like you're above the law, like people, you're probably getting, they give you acknowledgement everywhere you go. They loving you, Norfolk, Virginia, blah blah
Mhm.
blah, this and that, the third. So you feel like you're kind of untouchable,
Yeah.
and you were ready to celebrate your brother's victory over Nahir Albright. Let's keep it green, Browski. That's what happened. You and your brothers was getting ready to celebrate in your hometown at the Scope. Everybody going crazy. The Scope is the arena where the fights were held.
Mhm.
Everybody going crazy. You get ready to kind of justify your swag now. Me and my brothers is doing what we do, and I'm just keeping it green. This is how I give it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got and that apple cart got upturned. Think on a much lesser level. Think Buster Douglas over Mike Tyson. Think Villanova over Georgetown.
Mhm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Think that because this was supposed to be a walk in the park,
Yeah.
what do you say, Brasky? A coronation, right? So it didn't turn out that way. Now
No.
you in your fields.
Yep.
Now you got to go face the same people, Kim, that you was talking all this junk about, and you're lost. And now you couldn't just take that on that level. Now you really lost because you jumped this guy for no apparent reason other than you got your ass whooped.
It was
That's
it,
it.
it was so unbelievable that that was
Yeah.
happening. I'm like, what? Like, when I saw the clip, I said, wait a minute. I said, this. I said, this can't be. This can't be true, right? I'm like, are they, are they running a bit on us? Like, what's happening? I'm like, babe, they're jumping this guy after the fight, after he beat you up. You got your brother now. It's I don't know, man. Like I said, it's a shame.
And it's
It's it's
it's all caught
disappointing.
on camera, so you can't
Yeah,
say, well, your word against his word. This
yeah.
is what happens.
Everybody records
Nah.
everything. It's disappointing that he made such a poor judgment call, doing doing something extremely idiotic, and now he's going to have to reap what he sowed because I can't see him on another card for a minute.
Yeah, Broski,
Nothing, and
that's
especially
really
nothing
really
of no
uh,
notoriety. He's
right, right,
he
right.
he's at the he's back at the
Back of the
local
line.
gym now. He's back
Yep,
online now.
yep, yep.
Only way we seeing him is if people post clips of him on YouTube again.
On YouTube, right? And
Yep.
probably the clips that they'll show on YouTube is this altercation.
Yeah, exactly. You put up his name,
You know
that's
what
what
I
you want to
mean?
see first.
Um, Down in Sports Talk, y'all. We back at you for a Tuesday night. We just wanted to set it off like that with a little talk about some boxing stuff. Yeah, Caleb Plant. He was supposed to be setting up some major things happening. That apple cart got overturned and upset. Seen a lot of that going on lately.
Yeah.
A lot of that going on, Kim, the last couple of years. A lot of these
Hmm.
cats go into these fights, with either they're undefeated or they talk mad garbage and they get their clock clean. You know what I mean? Now
I
they gotta humble themselves.
Yeah.
So even Tank went through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that fight, that rematch, is getting ready to happen in August.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know about what's going to happen in that particular fight right there because you're not really hearing anything from either side. So I guess
Quiet.
they're in training. That's quiet. The way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way it's
Quiet.
supposed to be. We're supposed to be talking about boxing in a positive aspect. Get ready to look forward to fights that are happening like Crawford and Canelo. Get ready
Yeah.
to take place in September and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
here we go with something that, no pun intended, that blackens the eye of the game. You know.
Yeah.
Um, on to bigger and better stuff. What are we doing with these NBA finals, Brodsky? We're a couple of games in. Are people still feeling the same way about the Indiana Pacers? Like, oh yeah, they can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, and yeah, they got it right where they want them. What's your thoughts going into Game 3 tomorrow night?
Um, I still think it's a toss. I think the only people in Indiana is thinking like that. As they should have confidence in your team, but right now I feel like we're going to see OKC starting to pull away now. I think game one, you know, it was very underwhelming performance by Chet. I think he only had like 6 points in game one. I'm like, yo, that's like you
Yeah,
can't.
6 or 5.
Yeah, I'm like you can't be out there in the NBA Finals giving me 6 or 5 points, bro. Like you got to step it all the way up. It was heavy SGA in the first game, and we see what happens when you keep the Pacers around and you allow them to go on runs, and then next thing you know, a short run become like a medium run, and then that medium run turns to a long run, and then next thing you know, you're only up by one with a couple of seconds left, and Halliburton once again hitting the game winning shot. Um, the Pacers are like they're like one of those mosquitoes that you just can't kill, that keep buzzing around, or like one of the little flies that
You thought you
you
got
can't
it, then all
stop.
of a sudden you be
Yeah,
like at the corner of your eye.
yep. You be sitting there chilling, and
Excuse me.
then you just hear the bzz, like
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah,
you looking like, oh, like
yeah.
what's going on? So I
That's right.
called it. So that's how I see the Pacers as. But it has been entertaining. I'm that's what I was looking for. Very entertaining finals. Game two was entertaining. Game one definitely was exciting. So I am enjoying the finals, but I still have OKC in six. I still have them winning in six. Yeah.
Um, to me, this game is gonna this game three is gonna dictate how the rest of the series is gonna go. The reason why I say that is because Indiana's home now. They got
Mhm.
no excuses. They're in the finals. They took care of their business in Oklahoma City. They split.
Yeah.
They got what they wanted. Now, I think if Indiana can't get anything done in Game Three, the series is over. Um, I want to see how Oklahoma City responds because their Game Threes aren't the best.
Yeah.
So again, if Indiana has a chance to um, take advantage of the advantage that they have, Kimmy, by
Mhm.
being at home, being not being down 0-2, that's an advantage, right? And Halliburton, with the leg injury thing, which I hope doesn't turn into an excuse, because
Yeah. I hope
again,
not.
we saw how deep this team is, and
Yeah.
we saw Browski. I'm gonna look into the camera when I say this. How well this team plays when Tyrese Halliburton is not on the floor.
Mhm.
So all of that, beating on your chest and feeling like you've done something and accomplished something, win this game three against a team that probably at this point in the series, Browski, has your number, like you said. I mean, Oklahoma City sees what they're dealing with now.
Mhm.
And if they can get those, like you said, you mentioned Chet Holmgren, those major contributions from that guy, if you can, because you know what you're going to get from SGA,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, and maybe a couple of other guys in Oklahoma City can turn up. The Jalen Williams, the Dortz, or the world. Even the Hartenstein comes up with a big,
Yeah.
offensive game with a double
A
double.
double
He's
double.
capable of that. He's capable of it.
Yeah.
So again, you match what Indiana brings to the table because they're going to be hyped to charge their home. It's NBA Finals and all of that. Um, Halliburton is just what he is. He's a good guy on a good team. You gotta kind of like poke some holes in the other situations, the Siakams, the Nemhards, right? The other guys that come at you in waves. T.J. McConnell. Haven't really heard a lot about him in this postseason. Last year he was killing it. I
He
know he killed
was.
the Knicks. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
when you talk about what might happen in the game three and what needs to happen, Indiana needs to win this game. If they go down 2-1, all the pressure is going to be on them for game four.
Yep.
All of it, right? So, again, at the end of the day, I feel like if Indiana can hold their own, which, like we said, we agree, Kimmy, we don't think it's going to happen.
Mhm.
We don't think Oklahoma City's going to blow them out.
No.
123, 107, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That sounds about right. So I'm looking forward to seeing now Rick Carlisle's at home. Mark Daniels on the road. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now the what do you say, Kimmy? The script flips a
Yeah.
little bit, a lot
Yep.
actually.
Yeah. The
You know what I mean?
tables are turned now. So see how
Now I
Oklahoma
was going to
City
ask you
plays
this,
the
Browski. I
road.
was thinking about this while I was at work. I said, what I'm going to ask Browski? I said, you know how the Knicks bring out all the guys, Ewan, Spreewell, and Starks, and Charles Smith, and Oakley, and
Mhm.
Bernard King, and Clyde Frazier. Who are the Pacers going to bring out for Game 3 in the NBA Finals?
I mean, you got your staples of Reggie Miller. You can always bring out. Well, you got Rick Smith, Declan Shrimp, um, Jalen. No, no, no. Look, Jalen Rose, Jermaine O'Neal, Mark Jackson. I mean, they got. You can't. You know
we,
the Pacers. They had a squad. You know. You know,
We was talking about it at work, and I said, "Well,
you could
I'm
bring
gonna
out
bring it up
Larry
on the
Bird.
show."
You know, he was the coach
That
and GM.
that's what I was waiting for you to say,
Yeah, you could
Browski.
bring
Let's
out
go.
Larry
Let's
Legend
go.
up there. You
That's what I
know.
was waiting for you to say. Um, when you talk about Indiana Pacers basketball, and we're gonna get and don't let me forget about Browski, the ABA teams that have won titles in the
Mhm.
NBA, right? When you talk about the Indiana Pacers, and me, this is why I'm glad that I'm old as hell. You talked about all the names you brought up, Mark Jackson and the Davis brothers and Reggie Miller, and
Mhm.
I was saying like this. All those names are dope. Rick Smits,
Yeah.
um, Mark Jackson,
Mhm.
Vern Fleming,
Yeah.
Haywood Workman. What about Larry Brown?
Mm.
What about guys that and that are still around? Those guys that help get the Pacers to where they are. Um, we just want to celebrate the past and bring it to where we are in the present right now. The Indiana Pacers, one of four teams that are in the NBA. Quick, Browski, give me two of the other teams in the NBA that came from the ABA and won titles. Quick, 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 quick. I knew you better know, Kim.
What, the Philadelphia Warriors?
No.
What?
And I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm gonna give you a hint. The Knicks played both of them in the finals. I give you a hint. Recently.
San Antonio
Yes. Come on, Browski.
and
2 for 18. OJ. Come on, Kimmy. Houston Rockets.
oh yeah, there we go. Ah yeah, Green. But you know what's so crazy?
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that the Knicks did play Houston in the final. Like that's real weird. That's
And,
weird.
and,
But
and,
yeah,
and that's the
yeah,
one.
both
That's the
Texas
one you
teams.
should. That's the
Both.
one
I
I wish
know.
I could forget.
I know. I know it is. That's why I'm like, I always remember
Yeah,
the San
man.
Antonio, but I keep forgetting that they play Houston. But yeah,
Yeah.
y'all
And
played.
and,
Yeah.
and, and, and and quick, watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna throw this someone at Browski. We got the Rockets. We got the Pacers. We got the Spurs. Who's the other team? They haven't won the finals, but they came from the NBA. You better come on, Browski. Let's go,
Uh,
Browski. I'll give you a hint. Julius
oh yeah, well yeah,
Erving.
I said the Philadelphia. You know,
Yeah.
they was the
Yeah.
Warriors first. You know,
Huh?
they was the
Hmm.
Philadelphia Warriors. You know, and then they turned to the Philadelphia 76ers. So yeah,
Okay. we'll
yeah,
give Browski
I said
an
that
A
in
for
the
effort.
beginning, but
But the
yeah,
reason why
yeah,
the
yeah. You
reason why he
know,
brought that up is because now those ABA teams, even though there are four of them, they
yeah,
all got titles except for the Nets, and the Nets were in the finals. You know what I mean?
they never
They lost.
won.
They lost to Kobe and them, rest in peace, and they lost to the
Yep,
Spurs.
yep.
But those ABA teams are relevant. And when you talk about Indiana Pacers team going up against the Oklahoma City team, I just hope and believe that the Pacers are going to make this series as exciting as possible.
I
But
hope
Oklahoma
so.
City is just too strong for them.
Yeah.
They just got too much for them. You
No,
know.
I agree, and it's so funny when you think about the ABA teams because I mean San Antonio Spurs has been the most successful, ABA team when you look at championship wise.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
Hall of Famers, on that squad. Um, one of the main force for bringing in foreign players, on a team.
Yep.
So,
And the force was what else, Browski?
want me to say it again?
And what else did the San Antonio Spurs kind of bring into the league and bring into the league's consciousness that Greg Popovich was
The
doing a
Grand
long
Papa,
time ago?
yeah. What, like fundamentals and like what
Load management.
oh low man, oh yeah, oh
Load
he
management.
was the poster
Listen,
child. He
come on,
introduced
Kim.
low management to the league. He was
Yeah.
like people don't realize that he was doing that for so long, for so
Yep.
many years. Like
Before people were
going
sleeping
back
on it.
going back to David Robinson.
Yep.
When
Yep.
David
Yep.
Robinson
Yep.
was playing. You
Yep.
know him,
Sean Elliott,
Sean yeah, like
Ori.
yeah,
Yep.
like he was the the founding father of load management. So
And he was doing it for so long, and
for so
they
long, and
wasn't even
no one
paying no
caught on
attention
to it.
to it.
No one even caught on
They
to it.
wasn't
So
paying no attention to it, and they was
not
doing the load management thing because
not
they would hide it behind that road trip that they would go on.
yeah,
Because I think the rodeo or something was in San
yeah,
Antonio.
yeah,
And they
yep.
would always go on this long,
Yep, it was
escapist road
the
trip.
San
And
Antonio, Texas rodeo.
Pop was like, you know what,
We
David,
gonna rush some of these
Sean,
guys.
we're gonna give y'all a little rest tonight. You know what I mean? Well, we got a game
Mhm.
in let's call it Atlanta somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We'll give you the night off.
yeah,
Then the next night we'll give this guy off, Ginobili. We'll give
mhm,
that guy the night off,
yeah,
or we'll give
yeah.
somebody else the night off. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden the league is like, hey, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Something is
Something
fishy.
it's got to be underhanded. Because
Mhm.
why? Because the Spurs still was winning
Yep,
championships, no less.
yep,
And then now everybody went crazy with load management. They put a name on it and everything. It was just
yeah,
like these guys was getting their rest when they can.
yeah, yeah.
And we would
So
discuss on this show right here how you could do load management and still play the game.
yeah, so when you think about these teams, you know, going back to the ABA, like
Uh-huh.
San Antonio Spurs was definitely one of the forefronts, like one of the most successful ABA teams that merged into the league.
Yeah.
So it's I'm just looking forward to this game three, like I said, being like really the defining factor of the series, swinging which way it's going to go. Um, but I still see OKC, withstanding their early run because they're going to go on a run because they hype in charge at home, so they're going to go on
Right,
a run.
right, right, right,
As
right.
long as they can keep it close, and still play their game, it's a long game. These games have been decided within the last 3 minutes, so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the last 30 seconds. So we'll see, like I said, and a lot of people was hating on this series too when the series first
Yeah.
started. And they was like, "Oh, nobody wants to see a Pacers and Thunder finals." And I'm like, you guys are idiots. I'm like, this is gonna be a fire series because truthfully, I couldn't see Thunder Knicks. I didn't think that would have been a really good series because I don't think the Knicks
Watch
match
your
up.
mouth, watch your mouth, watch your
Hey,
mouth.
listen, I'm just speaking truth. I don't think the Knicks really match up with the Thunder right now, especially how Tibbs he only plays 7 guys. This team they playing 12 guys.
It seemed like they're playing 30.
Yeah,
Right, that's right.
exactly. It seemed like everybody on that bench is getting some burn. So I think this right here was the right matchup. But here's the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that whoever wins this championship will be a one-time champion because what I'm seeing out in LA with Luca, he lost the weight. He's hitting the gym. He's looked the best he ever looked. The best he ever looked. And like that's this thing I always fear about Luca is him getting in shape because we see what he does as fat, as fat Luca, out of shape, not just slugging around. So I'm
Well,
motivated.
it's skinny Luca play some defense. He might be onto
I
something.
mean, listen, a skinny. Hey, he might now because he can move his damn feet. You know. So who knows? But it just
Send your
just
emails
seeing
over
it,
there.
like just seeing what. And I'm gonna say this. I know you don't like the guy, but seeing the influence of LeBron on Luca take like that is crazy. When you had another guy, AD, who played with him for years, couldn't figure it out, or wouldn't
And they had
go
a
to
chip
him for
together.
help.
Right, that's right. Right.
Because no matter how you feel about LeBron, when you think about his career, He's playing there in 22 seasons and never really had like a really major injury that had him miss the whole year. And he always been in tip top shape. Even now, going into year what 23, like it's crazy, and he still is able to maintain his stamina and keep up with the young guys on the court. So, you know, that just speaks value that this guy really wants to win. He really wants to be, the best. It's just disappointing that you couldn't get that out of AD. Y'all been playing with each other for what, about 5 seasons, like four or 5 seasons
You
together,
had to
and
chip in the bubble together.
chip in the bubble, and it's like he never really gotten better. It's like he feel like he already is the best. And it's like there's always room for growth, and just to see Luca, take on that, just playing with him for a few months, it speaks value to me. So I'm kind of excited to see how this is going to look like next season. So I'm thinking
Let
this
me find out.
year.
Let me find out Yada Bear and then emailed Windwalker for a LA Lakers fan application. Let me
Nah,
find
nah,
out.
nah.
Let
I'm
me
just
find.
listen. I'm just
Let me
thinking.
find out Yada Bear and
No,
send the
I just
email.
respect when I see players put in the work, you know, to make themselves better and not just stopping where they at thinking they already arrived when you
Right,
haven't
right.
won anything. That was
Mm-hmm.
one of the main things why I respect Kobe Bryant so much, because each year you saw the progression of how great he got year after year after year, knowing that he was in the gym putting in work. So to see Luca do it makes me think like, Lakers might be making some noise next year. Whoever won the chip this year, it might be a 1 year chip for them, or it's just gonna be tougher competition in the West. But Game 3 is tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Tomorrow, and we'll see. We'll see who takes control of the series. We'll see who takes
Right.
control.
No
Yeah.
doubt. Um, Down in Sports Talk, man, another Tuesday night. Got myself left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter, which is this right now, and then you got Browski over there, getting ready to be a LA Laker fan.
Get out of here.
Yeah, man. So LeBron is he's putting himself in shape and he's getting ready to go. And Skinny Luca and JJ Redick, the no sophomore slump over here. All right, Browski gonna come on with I'm gonna have to call
Mm,
Windwalker.
whatever.
um, I just wanted to say this before we get too deep into it. This is before your time, Browski. Um, Sly Stone passed away. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 6'5", 240 pounds. Right. When I was a little kid, I had to be maybe 4 or 5 years old. Sly and the Family Stone was like the hottest. I remember. If you want me to stay, everyday people, dance to the music, all of that.
Mhm.
But the first thing that struck me about when I used to watch Sly and the Family Stone on Don Kirshner's rock concert used to come on at 1 o'clock in the morning after Saturday Night Live. Soul Train, little interviews that you would see Sly and Family Stone on. The thing that bugged me out, and I was too young to even grasp the concept. Yeah, white people, black people, different races. He had females. He had Miss Cynthia Robinson playing the trumpet. He had his sister on the keyboards. And Sly and the Family Stone has some joints. And when like people like, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. The people your era, which is behind my era, right? When they find out, oh, you probably have it, just really didn't really kind of like strike that nerve in you, like say, oh, that connect those dots.
Mhm.
Sly and the Family Stone, you know, after or besides, thank you for letting me be myself. Besides
Mhm.
that, they got a lot of joints, man. Slider still got some joints. I'm gonna bug you out right now. Sly and the Family Stone got joints. joint called "Trip to Your Heart," and the beginning of the record goes like this. The beginning of the "Trip to Your Heart" record. You can put it on YouTube and all that. Ah, ah, ah. Mama said, "Knock you out,"
Mhm.
right? Um, Sly and the Family Stone, very influential from out in California, San Francisco, that era of the LSD and hallucinogenics and all of that type of stuff, and Sly and the Family Stone, Parliament. This is before Rick James.
Mhm.
And Rick, you remember Rick James when you was little. You
Mhm.
might have been a little shorty, but you remember Rick James.
Mhm.
But this was before Rick James. Can you imagine? This is before Rick James.
No.
And Sly and the Family Stone, the way they was dressed, the way they would rock, do their thing or whatever, very super influential, man. His name should be Sly Stone's name should be talked about way more than it is. No disrespect to Stevie, no disrespect to Isaac Hayes, all the other great musicians, but Sly and the Family Stone, what? I've been listening to all day long.
Mhm.
Um, did you see the movie Dead Presidents?
Mhm.
Lorenz Tate. Okay.
Yeah.
At the end, or near the end, when the
Mhm.
cops ran into the spot and Chris Tucker's his character was in the chair, he had OD, was in the chair like this, and the cops ran in towards the
Mhm.
end. To if you that record, if you want me to stay, that's Sly and the Family Stone.
Mhm.
That's Sly and the Family Stone. But again, at the end of the day, Sly Stone very influential to this day, man. Stood up for the right thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Had a very famous back and forth with I think it was Muhammad Ali or Richard Pryor. I think it was Muhammad Ali. Sly Stone and Muhammad Ali was going back and forth about the war,
Mhm.
and it was like they was going back and forth, like you know what I mean, like the dude who was hosting the talk show, like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So I say this to say that Basky, I always kind of add a little, back in the day stuff to the show, whatever. But Sly Stone meant something to me growing up. Another guy that's still around that meant something to me is George Clinton. Like
Mhm.
really, you know what I mean? I would be like, listen, I'll be done. You know what I mean? But again, Sly Stone, he just had to, you could do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You're just a regular person. You could be a doctor. You could be a person that deals whatever in whatever part of society. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to be respected for it.
Mhm.
I'm everyday people. Shout out to Arrested Development, my man Speech down in Atlanta. All right, they redid the Everyday People record, right? So again, Sly Stone, a lot of influence, very influential. And if you haven't really done, got to his music or whatever, somebody around you knows Sly Stone. Your uncles, your moms, or whatever, they know about Sly and the Family Stone. So again,
Mhm.
rest in peace, Sly Stone. Another one, man. Rest in peace to my man. My man in Atlanta, Andre Lett, right? AKA Drez the Beatnik. Um, he was going through some personal issues, and he passed away. Very cool brother. Very cool brother. One of the main dudes that kind of like really, if I got to give him the credit, got me influenced in the social media side of things. Cause I'm an
Mhm.
older cat, brown skin. I'm like, mess with this. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He's like,
Mhm.
nah, and he show you how it works. You know what I mean? He's gonna be missed, man. Party host down in Atlanta. Everybody know him. He's part of the hip hop community, man. A big loss for the hip hop community. One of those dudes that needs to be around forever. Let these cats who rob banks and kill people and do stupid stuff, let them go. Let them be the ones that are not here no more. Why we gotta lose the good ones? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So rest in peace to Sly Stone. Rest in peace to Andre Lett, aka Drez the Beatnik, man. Um, Now back to some sports stuff. Um, Give I say rest in peace to the Indiana Pacers, but that's another
Oh,
story.
wow.
Um, Browski celebrating, but Philly's got to win. You know what I mean? Um, I'm just gonna throw it out there tonight, man. We got like maybe about 6 weeks to go, Browski, before the All Star game. The All
Mhm.
Star game is gonna be in Atlanta, which is that story is gonna start popping up again, Browski. Because remember the last time they were supposed to have the All Star game in Atlanta, and
Yeah.
they had a rule or something about the genders and stuff like that. And they was like,
Mhm.
nah, we pulling the All Star game out of Atlanta. We
Mhm.
not messing with you. So that's probably going to be talked about, as we get closer to the All Star game. But
Yep.
I just wanted to kind of mention and throw a couple of people out there who I'm going to vote for. That's on my All Star ballot, right? Um, one from the National League, one from the American League. My guy from the National League, Jackson Churio from the Milwaukee Brewers. Outfielder, having a little bit slower start to this season than he was last season. Last year he was the talk of the league. If you knew about
Yeah.
the baseball, Jackson Cheerio. Another guy I'm going to put on for my National League ballot in the outfield, and I talked about him earlier this season, Browski. He might be an early candidate for comeback player of the year. You know what I'm getting ready to say. San Diego Padres, right? Fernando Tatis Jr. Because by
Fernando.
now, Browski, what is it, June? By now, Fernando Tatis Jr. would have been hurt by now.
He would definitely
Or
be hurt by now.
he would be hurt by now or suspended or something. You know?
He
But
wouldn't,
he's
or
here.
he wouldn't be playing.
Right, or he would so for some reason he wouldn't be playing. Right.
Mhm.
So um the simple fact that he's being productive and he's playing and he's doing that, I gotta give him a shout. On the American League side, man, that kid Kerry Carpenter for the Detroit Tigers. They call him Kerry Bonds.
Carrie Carpenter, aka Carrie Bombs, because he definitely
Yes,
be
yes, yeah.
knocking them
The Kerry
balls down.
Bonds is kind of too soon for that, Browski, if you ask me.
I know, but
But he tearing it up, ain't he?
yeah, he is.
He's definitely doing his numbers, and
Yeah.
I just think that right now when you talk about guys, you try to talk about guys that are below the radar a little bit. You know what I mean? They consistently do something in the game. They don't have to hit a home run every game. They don't have to, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But their name is in the paper, like we used to say, Browski. You get your name in the paper. You know what I mean? Um, on the American League side, I kind of look at, my man from the Oakland A's, the
The
first baseman.
outfielder. Oh, oh
The,
no, I
the
like the
out,
outfielder.
did you see? Forget about all of that. Did
Yeah.
you see that catch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you rank that catch? Where do you rank? This is how we do our show. Browski
That's
brings up
like
something. We leave the other stuff.
um
We go to that. Where do you rank that catch, Browski?
I gotta say this like top three catches.
Okay.
Like I can't say it's the best because we have seen there has been some fantastic catches, like
Crazy,
crazy
right,
catches in
right.
the outfield. But I can say at least top three because that catch was crazy. Like I didn't even think he had the ball. I'm like, did he catch that? Like, but that wasn't the first one he had. He had like three
Yeah, he
other
had a
ones
couple of them.
that's also as crazy as that one. So I would have to put him on my ballot just for that alone. Like I want to see him rob someone a home run, in the All Star game,
Oh, like,
But the
yeah,
first
okay, okay.
baseman, um, I like him too. He's good. The first baseman.
That
Um,
was an incredible catch. I'm gonna give it a couple of reasons why I think it was an incredible catch. Because first of all, he's right-handed. A
yeah,
left-handed player would have did the Griffey. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He had to contort his body, and then you
yeah.
know how you Browski. Did you see how he was looking at the wall, looking at the
Uh huh.
ball? Then when he found the track, when he found the warning track, he's like, okay, now I know where I'm at. So he
Yeah.
goes up, and the ball is still going. Now the ball ain't stopping, waiting for him
Yeah.
to get it together.
The
The
ball's
ball is
still
still
going.
going. He goes up over the fence, twists his body, reaches
Yeah.
over, and bang! Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
look what I found.
Gone is mine.
You know, yeah, that I mean, I seen Ken Griffey Jr. make some great catches. Jim Edmonds made some
Yeah.
great catches. You know what I mean? I seen a couple of guys make some spectacular, but that catch, when you talk about catches, I seen some guys make some nice catches and whoop de whoop. Those catches when you go over the wall and bring the ball back, you can't deny it.
Can't deny it. I was like,
You
that's
can't deny
crazy.
it. Then you look at somebody like Jose Canseco, where the ball bounces off his head, it goes over the wall. Like, what's wrong with you?
Blooper
You know what I'm
world.
saying? But again, Browski, these kids are, again, athleticism. You know what I mean? You
Behind the
got to be
name
able
of
to jump to do
behind the
that.
name of the squad because they got some talent.
Or the Oakland,
You know,
oh, I'm sorry, damn, I'm bugging.
the
The
Sacramento,
athletics.
yeah, yeah, the Athletics they have some talent. I like their shortstop. I think Jacob Wilson, the shortstop.
Okay.
He's good too. He's talented too. I mean, that's a team that should be selling at the trade deadline because
You think so?
they listen. I don't think they're going to do anything. For the next couple
Yeah,
years.
because that ain't even the focus, Browski. I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Because the
you
focus is
don't
getting
even
them to
have a
where they supposed to be.
stadium.
You're
Yeah,
right.
you.
You're right.
So they're
You're
basically
right.
just
You're
wasting
right,
their
Browski. You're
talent
right.
there. So they should be more sellers. Trying to build up their farm system, get more
Mm.
draft picks. Because you gonna have to pay these young guys. Like these young guys are good. Like
You're
you
gonna
have
have
to
to
pay
pay
them.
them,
So
right?
how can you continue to spend all this money when you don't even have a stadium of your own? You don't even have a home.
Mm.
So I think that's the focus, and I think they should be definitely be sellers at the trade deadline because I wouldn't be mad picking up some of these young guys, pitchers
I
and
mean,
all.
you make a valid point. I mean, again, what do they have to lose? Again, because again, wherever they end up, be it Sacramento, I think they broke ground in Vegas today for the stadium.
Mhm.
So if they end up in Vegas or whatever, you're gonna definitely have a team that
Yeah.
people are going to want to come out to see. So that means if you got to sacrifice some of your young talent to bring a couple names in here, because like
Yeah.
you said already, they already got a foundation of something already.
Yeah.
They got some offense, got some pop to it. They play some defense. They got some pitching. They got some pitching in the back end. We always talk
Yeah.
about Mason Miller. We always
Mhm.
find a way to squeeze Mason Miller into the show. We
He's
could be
so
talking
good.
about some.
He's so good.
We always find a way to put Mason Miller in the show. But
Yeah.
again, like you said, Browski, yeah, you got to watch the Oakland A's and Seattle and the Angels and Houston and can't be lollygagging. They can't be worried about Oakland. And I keep saying Oakland. The Athletics not going to do nothing because the Athletics are coming.
Mhm.
And a shout out to the Chicago White Sox. They won 3 games in a row.
Surprise, surprise.
You know? And again, like we said, Browski, but it always goes back to what we said on opening day. It's not a sprint. It's a
Nope.
marathon. Even a team that, is going to end up losing 110, 120 games will have a 4-game winning streak, a 5-game winning
Exactly.
streak. They was playing the
Exactly.
Marlins. You know what I mean? Wasn't like they was playing
Somebody
the
got to
Yankees.
win. Somebody
They
got
was
to
playing
win.
the Marlins. So, again, when we talk about this baseball in particular, um, we're not at the All. We're still a couple weeks away from the All Star game.
Yeah.
So and we're in June, and the baseball season's been 3 months already.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we haven't even scratched the surface of the good part yet. The good part is still we looking down the road at the good part is coming. So again, when we talk about this baseball thing, we talk about it because we're fans of it. We love baseball, in particular. I'm gonna start it off this week and talk about the Yankees. We lost 2 out of 3 to Boston Red Sox. Not worried about it. We're 6 games up, but again, it's June, so I'm concerned to a certain degree because we're supposed to have control of that division. You know what I mean? We gotta beat those guys. We don't want them to feel like they can compete with us. Um, had a discussion at work about a week ago. What manager do we think will have the most ejections in 2025. You know how, and you know what 5 out of 6 people said?
Who?
Aaron Boone.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I said, you don't think I said you don't think Aaron Boone learned from like last year, and 2 years ago? You know what I mean? I
Yeah, I
see
would
him
think.
defending his players, but the San Diego Padres manager,
He
St.
always,
Louis Cardinals manager,
yeah,
huh?
they always getting kicked out, man.
They always get
Like it's
this is their contract.
yeah, it's like all right, so it's a 4 game series. You gotta get kicked out at least 2 of these games. It's like what? All right.
Yeah, and yeah, man, we got an afternoon game at 1 o'clock. Look, I gotta take my daughter to the recital,
Yeah,
so you gonna come out here and argue and just throw me out the game. Just throw me out the game.
it's
I got
gonna be
somewhere I gotta
it's
be
gonna
at.
be an early day. I need to be out here. I
Yeah,
need to be out here by 1:15.
because those guys, I'm not saying this for any particular reason, but besides, but the fact that they gotta defend their teams and stuff like that. But damn, son,
Hmm.
you almost getting ejected out of the game twice a week.
Yeah, that's
You know,
crazy.
yeah, that is crazy. A little bit about um some other stuff for the major league season. Are they gonna bring in the strike zone, the automated strike zone thing next year? I hope they do.
They have to. These ops are extremely, extremely inconsistent. It's like looking at some of these ops behind the plate. You like, do they need glasses? Like, do they have glasses? Like, you call them balls that's in the strike zone and strikes that's three
Way
two
off.
inches away from the plate to the point where the catcher is lunging for it and you calling it a strike.
And
It's
you still
crazy.
call it a strike.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's also what fuels the fire of these managers getting kicked out, players getting kicked out because it's like you made a mistake. You know it was a ball. Like why are you still calling it a strike? And then you got the freaking grid come on the TV that makes it even more
That makes even
aggravating
right,
because you're like,
right.
look how far off the plate it is.
Makes it stand out even more.
Yeah,
Absolutely, Kim.
it's like look how
Absolutely.
far off. So they have to, they have to incorporate it. Like I know they've been playing around with it down in like Triple A and Double A.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have to bring it up here because again, these are mistakes that can cause someone to lose their job.
That.
The manager can lose their job just for the simple fact that this is having a terrible day calling balls and strikes, and we lose the game. You get thrown out the game because you're furious and frustrated, and you didn't cursed out the ump. Next thing you know,
Absolutely.
you guys
Right.
lose, and then you're in the front office and breaking news. You're no longer the manager, you know, for that team. So
Mm-hmm.
they gotta do something.
That's right. That's right.
They gotta do something.
Um, we're gonna get into the part of the show right now, Browski's favorite part of the show. Well, we're gonna get down on some things. We're gonna talk about little topics that we want to discuss. Maybe that's not on the mainstream, but they're important to myself and Yada Bear. So Yada, what you getting down on tonight?
I'm getting down on the WWE. Um, like a week or so ago, they released our truth. He was
Mm-hmm.
a huge, huge, like popular wrestler. Well,
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday, this past Saturday was the pay per view Money in the Bank. He made his return. He made his return to his original character from TNA wrestling, which was Ron Killings. Um, he cut a promo on Raw
Oh,
yesterday where he.
this is our truth to talk about.
Yeah, his original name was
Okay.
Ron Killings, and when he was in TNA, for some of my wrestling fans that go into the TNA portals, y'all know he was the truth. As Ron Killings, like our truth is a really good wrestler. He has a skill set. Um, he's amazing in the ring. He's good on the mic. But it seems like when he came to WWE, they kind of made him like the comedic relief. Like he had he had a good run where he was, give you quality matches. He never really held like a prestige title or anything like that. Not for very long. Um, but extremely popular. Fans love him. Anytime he have any type of booking, his line is always one of the longest lines ever. Nice guy. I met him like a couple times
Okay.
here. Nice guy.
So he's an
Always,
asset.
yeah, always, willing to do something. Um, but they brought him back, which I love. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
hoping that he gets the real push, even if this is his final time, because the time is coming when he's going to retire. He's been doing this for well over 25, close to 30
Okay.
years. He I think Ron's like in his early 50s. Like he's been around. He's been in the game for a long time. But I'm just want to get down on the fact that I'm happy that WWE listened to the fans, brought him back, make it a part of the story, and hopefully just give him a nice little push so that he can go out giving the fans what people love, which is quality matches. From R Truth, um, aka Ron Killings. He cut his locks and everything on TV with his promo. It was a really good promo. I said, okay, here we go. So I'm just hoping Triple H, give him a little nice little story on his way out of the door. And that's what I'm getting down on. What you getting
And
down
on that
on?
note, that was excellent. That was dope. I mean, again, I know I can relate to what you're talking about with Ron, with our truth. You're a wrestling
Mhm.
person, so again, you gotta let that rock, and you know what you're talking about. So again, that's what we're getting down on tonight. You know what I mean? The return of our truth, aka
Yep.
Ron Killings,
Yep.
aka one of the craziest dudes I ever seen in wrestling. But he's effective and he does his
Yeah.
numbers. So we're gonna end it on that. Right? We got down on what we gonna get down on tonight. So y'all be good. Enjoy the summer and all of that. Was getting ready to pop off Strawberry Moon tonight, I think. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If
Yeah.
you into that type of thing,
Yeah.
you
I
know what I'm
heard about
saying?
that. Crazy.
So again, that's Browski over there, aka Yada Bear, aka Philly monster fan and all of that. You know what I mean? And I'm just left-handed. I'm just along for the ride. It's all about Brodsky, man. She does her thing. She talks about our truth and WNBA and how she's still mad at the WNBA for not bringing the team to Philly, but that's another topic. But that's
Hmm.
Brodsky over there. Y'all make sure y'all check out Yada Bear, man. You know what I'm saying? One of those people that you might want to, need to know in your personal business thing because again, Yada Bear is handles it like that. So everything is everything. We are in the building every Tuesday night. I am left-handed. I'm along for the ride. It's all about Yada Bear over there. You know what I mean? AKA Browski, right? AKA High Ceilings is in the building, y'all. Let's give it up for High Ceilings in the house. You know what I mean? Um, Down in Sports Talk, man. We out of here, Browski. I'll talk to you. Get you some rest,
Yep.
and we'll talk. You be good. Y'all be good. Down in Sports Talk, we out, y'all. Tuesday Night Live, we out. I'm gonna go
Peace.
watch some more hockey. I think some something. I'm out.
There you
I'll
go.
talk to y'all later. Be good. Our truth, y'all.